Hey, basketball fans, welcome back to Tips and Streams, your go-to spot for the hottest NBA regular season predictions. I'm Kokan, and I'm here to break down today's matchups and give you the edge you need to make the best bets. Before we dive in, make sure you hit that subscribe button and like this video. Your support means the world to us. Remember, our channel has no sponsors and relies solely on the love and support of viewers like you. Even a small donation by pressing the thanks button under the video helps us keep bringing you top-notch content every day. Don't forget to share this video with your friends and fellow basketball enthusiasts. And we love hearing from you, so drop a comment below and let us know what you want to see in our forecasts. Your feedback helps us improve and bring you the content you crave. Let's jump right into today's NBA predictions. We've got some exciting games lined up, so stay tuned and let's get that winning streak going.
Today we have predictions for 5 NBA games. The first prediction for today is for a game between the Phoenix Suns and Philadelphia 76ers. The clash between the Philadelphia 76ers and Phoenix Suns feels like a tale of two teams heading in opposite directions. Philly seems to be catching its stride, while Phoenix looks like they're still searching for the missing pieces in a puzzle that's getting more frustrating by the game. The Suns season? Man, it's been a rough ride, more like a roller coaster stuck on the downhill. With big names like Kevin Durant, Devin Booker, and Bradley Beal, the expectations were sky high. But here we are, staring at a 15-18 record and a team sitting outside even the play-in spots. That's a long fall from championship aspirations. The recent stretch has been especially brutal, just one win in their last 8 outings, including a 126-108 beatdown from the Pacers where their defense completely crumbled in the second half. Phoenix's problems are glaring. They're getting worked on the boards and just can't string together stops on defense. Jusuf Nurkic hasn't been the interior force they hoped for, and injuries have only made things worse. Beal's barely played, and when he has, he's looked like a shell of the player we're used to seeing. Defensively, it's ugly. They're giving up too many freebies and look like a bottom-tier squad in every major metric over the last month. If they don't fix their effort on the glass, it's going to stay a long, ugly season. On the flip side, the Sixers have been turning things around. After stumbling out of the gate, they've won 7 of their last 10 to sit at 14-19. Sure, that record isn't anything to celebrate, but the momentum is building. They made a statement in their last game with a 123-94 blowout against the Nets, showing just how dangerous they can be when everything clicks. The biggest difference maker? Joel Embiid, no question. He started slow this season, dealing with some wear and tear from international ball and injuries, but now he's back to being the dominant force we all know. He's an absolute problem in the paint, and against a Suns team that struggles to defend down low, he could feast. Tyrese Maxey's been hooping too, and while Paul George is still figuring out how to fit in, there's enough talent here to keep Philly trending up. That said, the Sixers still have their own flaws. Rebounding is a major Achilles heel. Even with Embiid, they're getting outworked on the boards way too often. But their shooting has come alive, and that could be a game changer against a Phoenix defense that's barely holding it together. Historically, the Suns have owned this matchup, winning 8 of the last 10 and covering in 7 of those. But let's be real, that was a different Suns team. This year's version has been a mess, especially on the road. They've got the worst ATS record in the league at 11-22 and are just 3-7 as road underdogs. Philly, on the other hand, has been solid at home and looks like a team starting to find its identity. With Embiid and Maxey leading the charge, I like their chances here. The Suns might have the talent to turn things around eventually, but right now, they're too inconsistent and too vulnerable on defense. If you ask me, this one leans Philly's way. Embiid should dominate in the paint, and with their shooting heating up and home court advantage, the Sixers are in a prime spot to take care of business and cover the 2.5-point spread. What I'm even more confident about, though, is the total staying under 225. Both teams have been playing at a slower pace, and I think that's going to set the tone for this game.
Welcome to BetUS, Sportsbook and Casino, your ultimate hub for secure and thrilling sports betting and casino gaming. BetUS is one of the oldest and most reliable online sportsbooks in the U.S., serving millions of clients all over the globe each month. BetUS, trusted for over 30 years, offers huge welcome bonuses, countless betting options, and many deposit and payout methods. Depositing funds is a breeze and safe, with a minimum deposit of just $10. Payouts are fast and hassle-free, beginning at only $50. Choose from various payout options like MoneyGram, couriered check, cryptocurrency, or bank wire. Signing up is quick and easy. For signing up, you can use the link in the description and enjoy a generous 125% welcome bonus of up to $3,000. By signing up using the link in the description, you'll also support us as we earn a small commission from your registration at BetUS. Thank you for supporting us. Join now and start winning.
The second prediction for today is for a game between the Orlando Magic and New York Knicks. The Knicks and Magic are about to lock horns again at Madison Square Garden, and this one feels like it's all Knicks, given the way things are shaping up. Orlando's injury list is looking more like a starting lineup. Losing Jalen Suggs to back spasms in their last game was just another gut punch for a team already missing key pieces like Paolo Banchero, Franz Wagner, and Moritz Wagner. And let's not forget, Moritz is done for the season. Even with all that, the Magic somehow scrapped together a win over the Raptors, but pulling that off against New York in their house? That's a different animal. Orlando's got a tough road ahead, no doubt. Their role players have stepped up, but they're being asked to punch way above their weight. Goga Bitadze has been cleaning the glass lately, averaging over 10 boards per game in his last 5 outings. Kentavious Caldwell-Pope is knocking down shots from deep, and they might have to lean on Tristan da Silva to find some offensive spark. Still, against a Knicks team that's been a buzzsaw at home, it's going to take more than a good hustle to hang in there. Last time these two squads met, the Magic got smacked 121-106, and that was with Franz Wagner in the lineup. Now, the Magic not only need to control the boards, where they were outclassed by 11 last game, but also keep their turnovers in check. They coughed it up 17 times in that one. If Orlando can't slow the game down and keep it scrappy, they're in trouble. For the Knicks, this is about bouncing back. That loss to the Bulls stung, especially since they had a 9-point lead at halftime before completely unraveling on defense in the second half. Karl-Anthony Towns has been the engine for New York, doing damage in the paint and stretching the floor, while Jalen Brunson has been their steady hand, averaging 26 points a game against Orlando this season. Towns has always feasted on the Magic, putting up double-doubles for fun in his career matchups with them. It's not just the stars doing the heavy lifting for the Knicks. Mikal Bridges has been solid all season, and OG Anunoby adds a nice two-way punch. The issue? Defense, or the lack of it. Giving up 128 points a game over their last 2 contests isn't going to cut it, even against a short-handed Magic team. If the Knicks lock in defensively, this game shouldn't be close. Orlando's offense is running on fumes right now. They failed to crack 106 points in 8 of their last 10 games, and against a Knicks squad that loves to put up points at home, that's a recipe for disaster. The Knicks have handled their business at MSG, blowing out teams like the Jazz and Raptors. I just don't see how the Magic can keep up with this depleted roster, especially on the second night of a back-to-back. When it comes to the betting angle, the Knicks have been solid as double-digit favorites, covering the spread in 6 of their last 8 opportunities. Meanwhile, the Magic have been floundering ATS lately, with just 3 covers in their last 10 games. The Knicks have had Orlando's number all season, and I don't expect that to change here. At the end of the day, this feels like a comfortable Knicks win. The Magic are fighting hard, but there's only so much they can do with what they've got left in the tank. The Knicks should take care of business, cover the spread, and keep their foot on the gas as they look to build some momentum heading into the new year. Before we move on, I have a quick favor to ask. If you're enjoying the content, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Subscribing might seem like a small action, but it actually makes a big impact for us. Plus, it's completely free for you. Have you clicked that subscribe button? Awesome, thank you so much for your support. Now let's dive back into the video. The third prediction for today is for a game between the San Antonio Spurs and Chicago Bulls. This showdown between the Spurs and Bulls has all the makings of a fascinating battle. San Antonio rolls into the United Center with an 18-17 record, and they're looking like a team on the rise. Meanwhile, Chicago, sitting at 16-19, is still trying to find some consistency despite showing flashes of potential. Both squads know this game matters if they want to stay in the mix as the season progresses. San Antonio's young star, Victor Wembanyama, has been nothing short of sensational. This rookie isn't just living up to the hype, he's exceeding it. He's putting up 25.7 points a night, along with double-digit rebounds and a whole lot of blocks. Over the past 5 games, though, the kid's been on another level, averaging over 31 points and dominating the glass. He's the type of player who can take over a game in a heartbeat, and the Bulls better have a plan to slow him down, or this could get ugly fast. The Spurs aren't just about Wemby, though. Chris Paul has brought that veteran savvy they've been missing, and it's showing in how this team is clicking. Sure, they dropped one to Denver recently, but even in that loss, there were moments where they looked dangerous. The key for San Antonio is cleaning up their shooting. That 27% they posted from 3 in their last game won't cut it, but if they find their rhythm, they're a tough squad to beat. They've been covering spreads like clockwork lately, and their road wins have been against solid competition. On the flip side, the Bulls are coming off a big win over the Knicks, where they absolutely lit up the scoreboard. Zach LaVine has been doing his thing, averaging over 22 a game, and he's the go-to guy for this team when they need buckets. But let's not sugarcoat it. The Bulls' defense has been a mess, especially at home. They're giving up way too many easy looks, and that's why their record at the United Center is a disappointing 6-11. If they want to stop the bleeding, they'll need Nikola Vucevic to hold his own in the paint and help contain Wembanyama. The Bulls thrive when they can get out and run, and their transition game could give the Spurs trouble. But their defensive issues have been a recurring theme, and against a player like Wemby, that's a recipe for disaster. Chicago's got the firepower to stay in it, but they've got to clean things up on the other end of the floor. When it comes down to it, I just trust the Spurs more right now. They're playing with confidence, and Wembanyama is proving he can handle the spotlight. Add in Paul's leadership and a bench that's been stepping up, and San Antonio has the tools to get it done. Chicago has talent, no doubt, but their inconsistency is tough to overlook. Plus, trends don't lie. 5 straight games between these two in Chicago have gone under the point total, and I'm betting this one follows suit. I'm riding with the Spurs to take this one on the road, and I think it'll be a grinded-out kind of game that stays under 236.5 points. San Antonio just feels like the team with more momentum, while Chicago still has too many questions to answer. The fourth prediction for today is for a game between the Los Angeles Clippers and Minnesota Timberwolves. Alright, let's dive into this matchup between the Clippers and Timberwolves. On paper, these teams are heading in different directions, but there's a lot to unpack here. The Clippers have been holding their own this season, sitting in a solid 7th spot in the West with a 20-15 record. They're coming off an absolute blowout win over the Hawks, where they dropped 131 points and made it look easy. That kind of game shows what this team is capable of when they're clicking. The big story for LA is the return of Kawhi Leonard. He made his season debut in that game, and while his stat line wasn't eye-popping, 12 points in 19 minutes, you could see the impact he had just by being on the court. If he stays healthy and gets back into his groove, this Clippers squad could be a problem for anyone. But let's not overlook the guys who've been holding it down while he was out. Norman Powell has been on fire, leading the team with 23.5 points a night and shooting lights out from 3. James Harden has been the glue, running the offense and putting up 21.5 points, 8 assists, and 6 boards per game. Oh, and don't sleep on Zubac, who's been cleaning the glass and stepping up his scoring this season. Defensively, the Clippers are no joke. They're ranked 4th in the league in defensive efficiency, and that's been their bread and butter. Offensively, though, it's a different story. They're near the bottom in scoring efficiency, and turnovers have been killing them. They're one of the worst teams in the league in that department. If they can clean that up, they'll be a much tougher out. Now, the Timberwolves. What can I say? They've been all over the place. At 17-17, they're sitting at .500, but their inconsistency is what stands out. One game, they look like world beaters. The next, they're losing to teams they should handle, like the Pistons. That loss to Detroit, where they got smacked 119-105, was rough. And it's not just one-off games, it's streaky stretches. 3 losses, 3 wins, and then 3 more losses. It's the kind of up and down play that drives fans and bettors crazy. Anthony Edwards has been the bright spot, putting up 25.3 points a game and looking like a future superstar. But man, he needs some help. Julius Randle, who they got in that blockbuster trade with the Knicks, is chipping in 20 points a game, but it hasn't been enough. That trade is looking worse by the day, especially with Karl Anthony Towns balling out for the Knicks. Dante DiVincenzo? He's been a non-factor. The Timberwolves' defense has been solid, 6th in the league, but their offense just hasn't lived up to expectations. This game feels like a must-win for Minnesota. They're on a 3-game skid and playing at home, so the pressure is on. The Clippers have been better overall, but their road performances can be shaky. And let's not ignore the history here. Minnesota has had LA's number in recent matchups, winning most of their head-to-heads and covering the spread more often than not. I've got a feeling this one will go down to the wire. The Timberwolves are desperate, and desperation often brings out the best in teams. Edwards is going to do his thing, and if his supporting cast shows up, they've got a real shot to take this one. I'm rolling with the Timberwolves to get the win and cover that slim 1.5 point spread. Should be a fun one to watch. Let's see how it plays out. The fifth prediction for today is for a game between the Miami Heat and Sacramento Kings. The Miami Heat are heading to Sacramento, and this matchup feels like it's got all the makings of a thriller or a train wreck, depending on how things shake out. Both teams are coming into this one with something to prove, but let's be real, neither is in an ideal spot. The Heat are coming off a couple of brutal losses, including that embarrassing 36-point beatdown at home to the Jazz. Add in the ongoing drama around Jimmy Butler, and this squad is far from locked in right now. Meanwhile, the Kings are playing the second game of a back-to-back after battling the Warriors. Fatigue could definitely play a role here. For Miami, the key will be their defense. They've been one of the tougher teams to score on the season, holding opponents to just over 110 points per game. Bam Adebayo's versatility on defense and his ability to clean up the boards will be crucial. Offensively, Tyler Herro has been carrying a lot of the load, dropping nearly 24 a night with some solid efficiency. But it's going to take more than those two to pull off a win on the road against a Kings team that thrives on pace and offensive flow. Sacramento, on the other hand, has been cooking lately, especially at home. De'Aaron Fox has been on a tear when he's healthy, and Domantas Sabonis is just a walking double-double. If Fox is good to go, though that hip injury might keep him out again, the Kings' offense will be tough to slow down. They're putting up over 115 a game, ranking in the top 10 in the league. Even without Fox, this team knows how to move the ball, stretch the floor, and make you pay if your rotations aren't sharp. The last time these two teams met, it was a nail-biter, with Sacramento pulling out a 1-point win. Miami, though, has historically played well as underdogs in Sacramento, and that could weigh on the Kings' minds. Still, you've got to wonder how much the back-to-back situation will affect Sacramento's legs, especially since they rely so much on transition and energy. Here's the thing, I don't trust either team to cover in the spot. Miami's inconsistency has been glaring, and Sacramento's record against the spread this season is one of the worst in the league. What I do trust is the scoreboard lighting up. The Kings play at a fast pace, and Miami, surprisingly, has been cashing on the over more often than not this year. Both teams have the offensive firepower to put up points, and with the line set at 223.5, I'm feeling pretty good about this one going over. If you're looking for a side, good luck. I'm sticking with the total.